as Elon Musk became one of the top-ranked accounts in Diablo 4. He also began streaming Path of Exile 2, until gamers calling out inconsistencies in his gameplay got Asmongold to comment on it.
There's no way he played that account. Like, I'm sorry. I think he bought the account or somebody played it for him. 100%.
Now, I'm not gonna sit here and try to understand the subtle details as to why they think Elon's cheating in a video game.
Elven Dragon Slayer, 10-point power sword.
But I do want to highlight how people are freaking out about how this implicates free speech, especially since Elon Musk now owns Twitter, which is largely seen as the last major social media site that supposedly allows it.
Elon unfollowed Asmon? Was he not happy about the, probably not happy about the PoE video?
As Elon later posted how Asmongold behaves like an independent, but has to ask his boss for permission, stating he's not his own man, leaking Zach's month-old DMs to his millions of followers, while Asmon talks about how he has editors for his YouTube Clips channel.
But I wanted to check with my editors. I think that there was a communication breakdown here. Because I think that Elon thought that what I meant by editors is like the New York Times editors. So then that happens, and we kind of like stopped talking, and it was like, all right, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Now, at one point, Asmongold's Twitter was no longer verified, but that was quickly reversed, and apparently was just over changing his account information. But what Elon did do, in a post boasting about his in-game abilities, was stating Asmon is good at commentary, but not video games. To which Asmongold took particular offense to, saying it was uncalled for. It's interesting to me, as someone not heavily in the gaming community, as how insulting not being good at video games is. As Elon questioned Asmon's manhood, leaked their private conversation, and people thought Elon shadow banned his account by taking away his verified status, but the only thing that crosses the line is you suck at video games.
You play ball like a girl!
So Jeremy from the Quartering called out how if the previous Twitter CEO was doing what Elon was, everybody would be angry, but they're somehow giving Musk a pass. Now I do understand the point Jeremy is making, as getting in Elon's good graces can literally make you rich. Certain Asians can have huge followings but still be nobodies on Twitter, while others can receive massive followings, get regularly reposted by Elon, and rake in tens of thousands of dollars every 2 weeks. Now, I'm not angry over this dynamic of billionaires not sliding in my DMs, but at the same time, I don't think anybody is going easy on Elon because they don't want to get shadow banned. As you hear the same thing about Joe Rogan, comedians and podcasters won't say negative things about Joe because they hope to go on his show one day, as he's now this kingmaker of the internet. No, I think people are nice to Joe because he seems like a genuinely good guy. And it's not exactly the same thing, but people aren't critical of Elon, as this is just expected behavior of someone like Musk. And I mean this in the nicest way possible. But Elon Musk is just this genius tier programmer who became successful and started doing whatever he wanted, which is oftentimes eccentric and socially confusing. So it's not necessarily socially acceptable, but it does make sense when Elon Musk fusses over being called a video game fraud. It's not typical CEO behavior, but it's exactly how I'd expect someone from Comic-Con or Anime Expo to act. Now, if Elon shadow banned Zach after this argument, it would be completely different, but I think the whole losing his verification checkmark was just a misunderstanding, and I wouldn't be surprised if Asmongold still ends up uploading clips to Twitter.
Elon unfollowed Asmon? Was he not happy about the, probably not happy about the PoE video? He'll get over it. Listen. It was so obvious. You cannot get mad at me for bringing this up. Everybody was talking about this. Come on, man. Come on.
And Elon did end up deleting some of the tweets he made about Asmon, as even if you are socially awkward, you can still identify when you've made a mistake. And I'm not gonna act like some pearl-clutching liberal holding people to some parody test, or else we gotta call for his cancellation. I can still appreciate he purchased Twitter and got rid of all the useless employees. I can still enjoy a Tesla and how technologically advanced they are compared to other cars. And I still think SpaceX is amazing, so hopefully he can bring that kind of innovation to our government. Simultaneously, I think Neuralink is terrifying and would never get it. It's also a terrible idea to embed a payment processor to a social media site that can ban you over speech, and him tripping out over video game fraud allegations is stupid. I see it no different than being a fan of a sports star. Jaylen Brown is probably my favorite Celtic since Kevin Garnett, and he's probably gonna do stuff he regrets, as that's just the nature of being constantly in the public eye. Even though I know we're not gonna agree on everything politically, but that shouldn't stop me from enjoying the game. So whenever I see someone angry at Elon for being flawed, I also fault the person for thinking just because he's a genius, he's not gonna do stupid things. As I have a small suspicion that the loudest accounts calling for him to be cancelled were already angry at Elon and just looking for another reason to hate him more. Like when there was a huge evacuation in Moss Landing over a lithium battery plant catching fire. Articles were written about the Tesla battery fire, when it really turned out to be the Vista Energy facility next door to the Tesla battery storage, which is in line with the news stories on how Elon is now bad for the climate, how Elon is now a danger to European democracy, how Elon owning X will amplify right-wing views, which now ties into Elon's gaming scandal deepens as he silences a whistleblower. The only thing more absurd than Elon's outrage over his video game rank is how Fortune magazine spun that into the Twitter owner silencing whistleblowers. Because if Musk went nuts and permabanned Asmongold and all the supporters, I would agree that's pretty scary. But when it didn't happen, it all just kinda blew away with the news cycle. And I don't say all this as some sorta Elon Musk super supporter, as in my field, I actually look up to Asmongold more than anything, as he's constantly watching, reacting, and providing commentary to my content. I can do a video with 200,000 views, and he'll react to it with 5 times the length and 4 times the views, which is like 20 times the profit. And this is something he consistently does, slightly remixing my title and thumbnail to millions more views. Where even if I can get 500,000 on a trending topic, he can get 1.5 million just watching and reacting days later. And this isn't me hating on how he's making his money, I'm just equal parts jealous and impressed. As if Moist Critical is classic Coca-Cola, Asmongold is second-tier PepsiCo, which makes no-name Decoy voice like Shasta or something equally impoverished. I just think the secret to the internet is not taking anything too seriously, and if people will still go on Instagram despite Mark Zuckerberg, TikTok despite the Chinese Communist Party, I think Twitter can survive despite some CEO's nerd rage. So if you appreciate my concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on how a comedian destroyed his career all to protect some politicians.